This is Steve Brooker, also known as Mud God.
I actually want to change history.
Steve and his sidekick Rock are part of a licensed group of amateur archaeologists known as Mudlarks. They scour Britain's foreshores, searching not for buried treasure, but hidden history.
Oh, yes! Tasty! Wicked! That is tasty!
They've agreed to share with me their decades of knowledge and experience.
Come here, man, I love that!
Our adventures on the foreshore will propel us on historical quests that range from the sublime
Whoa! Yes!
to the painful,
Hold the line, lad! Stay in the line!
to the downright disgusting. As we become MudMen. This week, we're in Abbey Creek, an estuary of the River Lee in East London. We're getting down and dirty next to a sewer outlet built to clean up 19th century London.
Stop touching me! Look, I've got poo all over me now.
We discover hundreds of years of history that has been washed down the drains.
Oh, yes! Tasty! Wicked! That is tasty!
And our finds lead us to experience life as Victorian children.
Oi! No talking back in class!
Today, you find the MudMen in Abbey Creek in the East End of London, a stone's throw away from the River Thames, our usual hunting ground. Now, behind me is the Abbey Mills pumping station. This was built shortly after the big stink of 1858 and was part of the massive sewage network designed and created to rid London of cholera and many other diseases. Now, there's the old saying, where there's muck, there's brass. With so much history being flushed down the drains, we're really hoping for some rich pickings down here on the creek bed. It's just a question of finding the filthiest, dirtiest mudman of them all. Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Brooker. Steve!
So this is actually a sewer outlet,
This is exactly what it is, yeah.
but we're not talking like hurdy-gurdies floating up and down, are we?
I haven't seen one yet. It's basically where all the refuse, the toilet material, if you like, comes into this big pumping station up the back here. And then, yeah, the top layer of water just gets pumped out of these outlets here. So what we're hoping for is all those little gems and goodies
Should be stuck in here.
just getting chucked out, exactly. So it's mostly kind of Victorian. It's going to be things like buttons, spoons, little bottle tops.
Yeah.
Be careful, because there might be things like razor blades. Yeah,
Look at that!
razor blade.
First find.
It's my spoon. Look, mine's bigger than yours.
It's not always about size, son. Now, look at this. This is perfect. Now, this is what I'd say. If you're on the
Exactly.
foreshore, that's what you're going to look for.
Exactly.
Muddy roading out, black spot. Check it out. What you got? So we got a bit of pottery there.
Yep.
What's that? Is that a coin?
Button, isn't it?
Do you know what?
That's beautiful.
It looks like, yeah, it looks like a jet button.
Yeah, beautiful.
I can see something. We do the old Johnny thing. What can you see?
Okay, let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look, let's have a look. What's that there?
That's what I can see.
Is that what you can see?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, isn't it? That's wood as well.
Is it
A little
wood?
bone.
I thought it was metal. Oh, that's nice. Now, that has got age to it,
That's
be
nice.
wooden. That's like a kid's feeding spoon.
Yeah.
That, too, could be Victorian.
It's nice, that.
Yeah, good little find.
Cool. What? What have you got?
A piece of sweet corn.
Oh, what sort of age do you reckon that is? Last week, isn't it?
Yeah, probably about 3 days ago.
It's not Victorian, that, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah. That just proves where we are. We're in a bloody sewage outlet.
What are we doing?
That's a... Jesus wept. Oh, let's go over there, look. Sweet corn of all
Oh, my
things.
God, I've seen it all now. That's properly
Oh, there's
turned my
another bit
stomach,
there
that
as
is.
well, look.
I know it's disgusting, but this sewer was built in Victorian times, meaning that our finds today have been accumulating down here for 150 years.
Look. Toy horse.
Very good!
Do you know what? Every single scoop, yeah, every single scoop has gear in it.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah.
What you got?
What
were you just talking about?
I was going to say fly button.
Hey, it's one of those fly buttons with the name of the maker on there.
Yeah?
Here we go, look at that. I. Cohen, Mile End.
No.
That's the tailor, that's
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Cohen, based in Mile End. He would have made his own buttons.
Not too far from here as well.
Not too far away, is it? That's fantastic.
Somebody's had a wee,
Yep.
undone their fly.
Exactly.
Buttons come off, straight down the carsey, out here.
There it is.
Try down there. There must be exactly the same setup there.
With such a wealth of gear down here, I'm even sure Johnny will get something great today.
Steve!
Vaughan!
Steve, where are we, man?
I didn't think you'd turn up.
No, I feel like going back. It stinks.
It's a sewage outlet. What would you expect? Shake hands?
No.
No, come on.
No,
Come on.
why would I do that, Mudmen?
Mudmen.
Steve, this absolutely stinks, man. I mean, this is the flies and the odour.
That's just me.
I know.
I spoke to a guy
and
at the top
sewage
here.
smells terrible as well.
I spoke to a guy at the top here.
Yes.
He says that on a good day you can smell this for 2.5 miles, and he was really proud.
A good day. It's amazing what
Yeah.
people can be proud of.
Now, like it said on your script, yeah, that you're going to have all your jabs. So Rock and I have had our jabs, so we're all ready to go. You all jabbed up? Cholera, typhoid, you name it, green monkey disease. You ready to go?
Green monkey.
When have you ever seen me in gloves?
Never.
Never. 2 pairs. Shows you how bad it is.
No, this isn't gonna be one of these days when... Yeah, but now I can't touch those because you've touched them.
Oh, look, I've just touched the corner of it. So bung those on.
Yeah, but they're going to be in... I've got to turn these the other way around, so that bit's going to be inside.
Just put them on.
No, but now I'm infected, right?
And the first time it has ever happened, now, I knew that you would moan about this, something chronic. So I've got you some knee pads. Come and check in this area
I've
over
really
here.
got my first knee pads here. This
Yeah.
is quite a day on MudMen. The day... and I get to keep these and everything, right?
Yes.
Brilliant.
You probably won't want them.
I
Are
tell you what, guys watching, if you're on Series 3 with us, you know I've been waiting these now 30 shows just about.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is very exciting.
Just because I knew you'd moan about coming
Of course
down
I'm going to moan about it. No one's going to come down and go, oh, happy day. What do you want me to do?
Right, check over here. Come on, let's go.
Got my knee pads.
It's a great place. Rock!
Yo!
He turned up.
Yeah, did he? Oh, yeah. Begrudgingly, and he regrets it. Although, Rock, I've got to tell you, I've already, just in the 3 minutes I've been here in the stroll over here, had the best finds I've ever...
Have you?
Yeah, really consistent.
What
Look,
have you had?
Well, I've already found... Look, and Steve what actually is this?
That's a number 2.
That is, it's a toilet cistern chain.
We're in the
You're
toilet.
kidding me?
Yeah, that's not any cistern toilet
thought it
toilet
was-
chain.
yeah,
It's
but
a
that is.
broken.
It's
toilet
actually
cistern
someone's
chain.
just... Do you know what? Someone's flushed...
Done that and just gone, oh,
Flush is
forget
broken,
it.
they just sort of flushed it down the loo.
Exactly.
Rock, before we move off
Yeah.
to fresh pastures,
Yeah.
can I say, apart from the blue gloves,
Yeah.
have you noticed something about my appearance?
I'd say you've washed your jacket, which I'm...
No, I've washed my jacket, yes, but there's something else.
New boots?
They're not new boots, but...
it. Look at you. Knee pads. Well done.
Yeah, I got
I did
knee
mean to congratulate you, actually, Johnny. I did hear that you were getting promoted.
Did you?
Yeah, I did hear.
That's because we have to work as a team today, and you're actually going to be part of
Team?
Rock and I's team.
Part of the team?
There'll
Part
be
of the team?
3 within the
Yeah.
team. This is your big debut.
It's a big moment.
In the CAC.
Brilliant, guys.
It should be.
No, it really is.
I know, it's a
I'm
big
proud.
day.
I'm proud. Proud of you, Johnny.
Come on,
Let's
chaps.
go find
Let's
some
go.
stuff. Come on, guys. 3 men working as one. Let's do it.
I'm finally in the inner circle. Together we are the 3 Mudsketeers battling time and tide to unearth hidden history. So, all I need to do is prove my worth and find something.
Oh.
You've got a brooch. What is that, a cat badge?
A cat badge.
Yeah, way. It's it.
Badge. That's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, that is. I think that's a cat badge. Yeah, what do you reckon? What age?
I mean, I think it's all kind of similar age, really. It's all Victorian, isn't it, really? But,
We're fine, though.
well,
At this stage, I'm still not finding much.
What you've got to think about, is we've got Victorian kids, the Mudlarks.
Yeah.
So they were just scavenging for anything to survive. So I've seen old bits of rope down here and stuff. You know, there
Yeah,
could be
could be.
pieces of coal down here. They would be getting as much up as they could to keep themselves warm. Whatever they had left over, you know, they'd sell that on.
exactly.
Think about it. We're actually mudlarking like those Victorian kids
This
did
is proper mudlarking.
in the
isn't it?
1850s.
Unlike the beady-eyed child mudlarks in Victorian times, I found nothing except an old toilet chain. But, because we're a team today, Rock and Steve are going to help me out.
Come on, chaps. Right, what we do is, we shall work this as a team.
You're really focused up for this now, lads.
Good.
It's one of the most exciting things we've ever done on MudMen.
This is going to be awesome.
Right.
Well, you got your trowel?
two
Yeah,
get
you're
on
going to wait for this boil.
Okay, okay.
And all you're
work
going to be
through
doing,
it.
yeah, is we're going to just tease it out. Oh, look, chaps, look. They must be the mother
The Nappy Valley. It's just all nappy pins.
That's good. That's going to be good. Oh, Vaughan, you're working as a team.
Like that on wall.
Button, I saw that.
Another one, coinage.
I saw it.
Oh,
Coinage.
I saw it. It's mine.
Hold that as well.
Little thing
George
there.
V farthing.
Why have we come here before? Marble, really nice. It's a spider marble. I love those ones. Brilliant. Careful, Steve. There's lots of pins and needles. Watch it. There's razor blades about as well, guys. Okay, there's razor blades. There's the tide. There's needles that are infected. And there's a whole lot of danger, yeah?
Imagine you're just trying to take off a millimetre at a time.
How can you see
Stop
what's in
touching
there?
me! Look, I've got poo all over me now.
Wait, give me your trowel.
Oi, no, poo boy.
Just do it neatly. Look, you're missing up marble. Kids marble.
Kids marble. It's like a very low-rent conveyor belt. No, incineration gun. I'm waiting for a really pooed up, cuddly toy. Oh, yes!
Tasty.
Wicked.
That is tasty.
Kids
That is
toy.
lovely.
I'm really pleased that all this is going in my bucket.
That is really
That's
nice.
Look at that, it's lovely.
Oh, look, what's that?
Oh,
It's mine.
Hey,
Hey! Whoa, whoa, whoa,
It gets a
whoa.
rope.
Oh, God, gold. This is brilliant.
Every single
Every
load.
single time. Each time you do this, Steve, it's like watching a winning lottery ball come in.
It's a bit like Christmas. Oh, last one, and it's got a spoon on the top.
Shape.
Oh, and a really nice toothpaste top.
I love these, man. Boots.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
yes. Oh, that's great.
Isn't that lovely?
It's a little salt spoon. It's absolutely brilliant. Why don't we come here every week? Can we come here every week?
Coming up, things get really, really dangerous.
What happened?
Oh, a thing's got in my finger.
Oh, dear.
Could this be the end for the three Mudsketeers?
Got a gospel, haven't we? Gospel, mate, yeah. Seriously.
Me, mud god Steve Brooker, and his sidekick Rock have been mudlarking by a Victorian sewer outlet on Abbey Creek in East London. It may be mucky, but so far we've unearthed plenty of booty that's been washed down the drains over the last 150 years.
Oh, yes!
Tasty.
Wicked.
And I've finally achieved acceptance into Steve and Rock's gang.
Yes, quite a day on MudMen.
Come, Woody.
Come, mate.
Now, the way that this works is, see this sewage outlet, Vaughan?
Yeah.
What happens is everything in the East End of London, in all their drains, all that water and the bits and pieces come into here.
Still.
Of course it does, it's a sewage outlet. So we're going to work this as a threesome, and you're actually kneaded on this properly. So on your knees.
On my new knee pads.
So what happens is,
Oh, I'm getting emotional again. All right, here we go.
we start scraping it up.
Can I
and
say,
passing it
this
along.
is so comfortable. I can't believe you waited so long to bring me in. This is like a different world. Ah!
What happened?
Oh, a thing's got in my finger.
Oh, dear. Quick.
Is that bad?
Yeah, that is bad. Honestly, that's bad.
That's gone right in and really jammed. There's blood
it?
under there now, yeah. I hit the bone.
Well, it's got a gospel, hasn't
It's got hospital, mate, yeah. Seriously.
Best thing for us to do, yeah, is now take it off, yeah, just by the
No,
elbow.
let's not joke about this, guys, because that did go right to my finger. Right, it really has definitely hit the skin. What do I do?
You're such a wuss.
What? Oh, what?
We got the
What? A
tosses in here.
needle directly out of a sewer has gone into my finger.
Yeah?
Into my thumb. And you're actually like, no big deal. It's obvious I've got to go and do something. I'm going to go to the hospital, have a quick jab at A&E, but are we still 3 ways on all the fines, yeah?
Oh, it depends.
What?
You're not here.
I'm injured, though, now. Do you know what? You two should cut me some slack. I'm brave, bold,
Get
beautiful.
that razor blade. Cut some of that
I'll
slack.
see you later, boys.
See you later.
Oh, enough wind, isn't he?
Look at that.
Whoa, hey, well done. Marble.
Kids marble.
Well done.
Is it a Vicky one?
Well, I'll tell you what, because I've got Victorian marble in here, look.
Have you?
Yeah.
Hey, well done. So we've got, this is me playing down the drains, and this is those Victorian kids playing
Yeah.
down the drains.
I think the Victorian marbles were always clay, weren't they?
Yeah, we think, you know, glass in Victorian times would still have been quite expensive.
Yeah.
You should have seen me down a drain as a child playing with these things. And think about it, yeah, they were doing exactly the same thing.
Hence, that's why you lost your marbles.
I lost my marbles years ago, matey. There you go, bang it in your bucket. It's a great place, though, yeah.
Really good.
Really good place.
After a quick spot of medical attention, I've decided I need to prove my worth to the gang. So I'm going to find out more about the Victorian sewers that are so close to Steve's heart.
Well, much as I was absolutely loving it down there in that sewer, I'm going to have to leave Steve quite literally up creek, because I've come here to the mill house to talk to a historian, Kate Williams. Now, Kate's going to tell me what life was like in Victorian London before they built the sewers, why they built the sewers, and more importantly, I'm going to find a bit more about the actual mudlarking children who used to work the foreshore and what life was like for them, as opposed to the large mudlarking child that is Steve. Let's go and see Kate. Hello, Kate. I'm Johnny.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I've just left Steve in the sewers.
Oh,
I know
right.
I had to tear myself away because I wanted to talk to you. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about the sewers.
Yep.
Before the sewers were built, what was life like in Victorian England?
Dirty, completely dirty. There was water everywhere, there was dirt everywhere. It was just disgusting. The sewers really were the lifesaver of the health of the Victorian. It's particularly in London, this hugely expanding city. Cholera was a massive killer in the Victorian times, and there are thousands and thousands of people.
Of course, typhoid.
And typhoid, dying of these very easily prevented waterborne diseases.
OK, so, Kate, what is the year of change then? When do they actually sort of think, you know what, we got to stop.
We've got to stop this.
We've got to start plumbing this city.
We've got to start. Well, there were a lot of concern during the 1840s. When Victoria came onto the throne, it was a new age of social reformers who thought we can't have people living like this. And
it was the Germans, wasn't it? It was Prince Albert.
Prince Albert, yes.
Stinker.
Well, he said so.
Changed. It must have been him. He changed everything.
He said that even Buckingham Palace smelt disgusting because they had broken pipes. So yes, poor old Prince Albert couldn't bear the smell of Buckingham Palace. So if even Buckingham Palace smelt bad, you can't imagine what the rest of London smelled like.
So we hear about the famous Big Stink, which effectively was the Big Bang for London's sewers.
Yeah, you're so right.
Tell me about that.
You're so right. The Big Stink, 1858, it was really when the Londoners realised they could go no further. And after that, everyone said, we can't go on. We can't go on like this. We need to have some kind of way of disposing of this dirty water.
This is when Bazalgette comes into the frame.
He comes in. I mean, the ideas of sewers have been, the plans have been going for a long time, but of course it's incredibly expensive to put sewers under all of London, and the Great Stink really reminded everyone that they had to sort out the problem of water, and quickly, because not only was it smelly and horrible and distasteful, it was also deathly, and thousands of people died of cholera in that summer of 1858.
Bazalgette sewers transform the health of Londoners, and this particular sewer is providing rich pickings. We are finding lots of evidence of Victorian children. The poorest would have been mudlarks scavenging down here, trying to make a living.
Oh, look.
What you got?
Look at that.
You got a jack?
There's a jack in it.
I remember playing these as a kid, but mine didn't look like that. I used to have a thing that looked like a Sputnik satellite with knobs coming up.
OK, right, yeah, I think that's the latter version of the same game. I think this was called Stones and Jacks. Obviously, they would have had different names, but you'd have put sort of 5 down, you've got to pick one up, chuck it in the air, pick one up, put them down and throw one up, pick 2 up.
Yeah, but that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that could be what? What do you reckon?
Well, I think, again, because of where we are, I'd say most probably Victorian.
Yeah. Think about it. We're actually mudlarking like those Victorian kids
This
did
is proper mudlarking.
in the 1850s.
So in Victorian times, these mudlarks were children.
Yes.
Tell me a bit about these mudlarks.
Well, they were classed at the time along with pirates and smugglers and robbers. They were seen as, you know, really the lowest of the low, and these were children. They were about aged 8 to about 13, 14. A lot of them were boys, but some were girls as well. And some of them had parents, but quite a lot were orphans. And they basically, as soon as the tide went out, they went out to the river and they ran around in the river trying to find what they could, obviously fighting each other sometimes, helping each other sometimes. The big sellers were coal and iron and copper and wood.
Just the real raw materials, almost like today. They're the big commodities.
They picked up other stuff as well, bits of material. And one of the weirdest things they picked up were bits of fat. The cooks on the ships would throw the fat out of the window, and this would float along the river.
Here, Mum, there's a load of fat down here.
So
Mum, I found a load of fat. Good on ya!
So they get this lard, put it in their bags, and sell that off to be reused.
Oh,
nice.
That is blinding.
Reusing your lard.
He's only found some lard.
It'd be like big blobs of pig gristle, you know, that kind of stuff. They just put it in their bags. Adults were seen as too old for that kind of work. By the time you were 13 or 14, you were too old.
Well, one adult who's not too old for that kind of work is Steve Brooker.
He's still down in the sewers where I left him, and I'm going to rejoin him now. Let's go and find Steve.
You all right, Steve? You all right, matey?
I thought you would have died in hospital.
No, I had a little jab, though. Let's focus up. What you had?
Loads of stuff. I've had rings, I've had coinage, kids' toys, loads of marbles, loads of spoons.
So where there's muck, there is brass, right, Steve?
Well, sometimes silver. I've had a silver spoon as well.
Rocky.
How you getting on?
All right, Rocky, baby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, anything good?
Yeah, a few bits, look. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah.
A wheel of something?
It looks like a sort of wheel off some kind of, probably the gun carriage from,
Yeah, it's kids' toy.
from a Britain's soldier set.
Do you know, I had a really nice find.
What'd you have?
Oh, look, it's taking a beating.
What you got?
Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
What is it, Steve?
Well, it's a little kid's spoon.
Nice, isn't it?
That's a good find.
That's a very good find.
That's the Victorian, that is.
It is.
You know what, guys? I've got to tell you. I mean, yes, it stinks. And yes, there's a lot of midges and flies. And yes, we're by an enormous sewer. But
You've enjoyed yourself!
cracking time! Yes! It's been absolutely brilliant. Look at that. Look at my bucket there. Can I just say, all that glisters is gold. There's gold in there. Do you know what?
Come on, Vaughan, let's
If I was
go.
to read out the contents of this, it'd be like a young Steve Brooker's Christmas list. Why didn't we come down here before? Why?
What a good day, chaps.
Very good day.
Hooray for the MudMen, kings of the sewers.
We've conquered the creek. Now it's time to examine our finds.